any other team member, we can start discussing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
If you have
think
any questions, please let me know. I
no,
can
I
try
think
to
we can
answer
get
your
started,
questions.
and then if Bob does hop on, he said he's gonna try to. So if he hops on, we can get him caught up real quick, and if not, then I'll just send him the video.
Okay, sure. So let me start then. One second, please. You would be having some background, hearing some
Yep,
background noise from mine because I'm sitting in a conference room kind of thing, in an
yep, that's
open
fine.
area. So,
No worries. I can
okay,
hear you
man.
just fine.
Yeah, that's good. So since Bob is not there, first I'll explain you what we discussed in the initial discussions and standard functionality. So in standard SAP, we have these processes, what we call it as order types. That is corrective, which in unplanned maintenance, if there is some kind of oil leakage happened, how we can record that
Okay.
information in an
Did I
SAP
lose your audio?
system.
No.
No, am I audible?
Yes, I did.
Hello, Mike, am I audible?
Yeah, Ajay, I can't hear you. Ah, that's why. Give me 1 sec. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Hey, let me hop off real quick and I'll hop back on.
Hey Jay, how are you?
Hi, Bob. Good afternoon. Am I audible? You're in mute, Bob, if you're speaking. Hi, Bob. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
It's been a long time. Am I audible?
Okay. I'm back.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Mike. Am I audible to you?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. So how's it going on, Bob?
Okay.
Can we continue?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm still sharing my screen and I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yep, I can.
Okay, so today session, Mike and Bob, we scheduled to discuss on the maintenance process and understand from the current business how it is going on glass and metal, as well as what is the standard functionality we have in SAP system. And each process wise, we have different order types configured in SAP, and what suits the order type or business process, we will utilize the order type, and accordingly we will record the technician efforts or material consumed against each maintenance activity. And uh, yeah, like I said, we will record that information or capture the information in the system. So
Okay.
based on our earlier discussions, Bob, and we used to have Charles Langford as well from class. So we understand we have planned maintenance with mainly with the time frame, not majorly on the meter reading, but majorly on the time based maintenance or time frame maintenance activities. We
Yep.
call it as performance time based maintenance activity, preventive maintenance. So it could be weekly, it could be daily, it could be monthly, or for every 3 months, or for every 12 months, system will generate a maintenance order based on the tasks need to be performed, which we capture that information in the task list or master data. And whenever a task is failed at the time of order confirmation or a maintenance activity is carried out, it will generate a ICM order, which is called as inspection corrective measure, and it will be captured in the ICM order process. We also discussed about emergency maintenance and corrective maintenance as a part of unplanned maintenance process based on the priority or for example, an unplanned maintenance will cover both emergency breakdown and corrective maintenance, something based on the priority, or if it is something oil leakage or some gearbox is damaged, it should be fixed immediately with a low priority of corrective maintenance process. It will be requested for maintenance, and the maintenance supervisor is going to review the maintenance request, and he is going to approve that, and he is going to convert the maintenance request into a maintenance order along with assigning it to a technician. Any questions, team, before I continue? Since it's
Nope.
so silent.
No, it's spot on.
Okay, good. And also we have safety and environmental maintenance, where safety maintenance is something for we do some example of the current business process like fire extinguishers or uh, mainly fire extinguishers, I can say. And we plan to create a maintenance plan and schedule the maintenance for this safety maintenance process, where it will generate a maintenance order on the timely time frames, and where you're going to capture the information and record that information in the safety maintenance process. And if we have any hazardous materials or hazardous locations within the facility and different locations of glass or metal, it will be captured through environmental maintenance process. This is something we got a requirement from the business at the time of initial workshops, and we configured these two different order types, which is not a standard functionality. And this is also something relevant to a planned maintenance or a preventive maintenance process. So time frame basis, it will generate a maintenance order. It would be weekly, or it could be monthly, or it could be for every 6 months.
Yep.
And
So so were you
yeah.
saying that the safety maintenance was just something that was in the discussions initially, and they wanted to throw that in there just as a, I guess, another way to differentiate that type of maintenance from a PM?
You're right. So initially, what happened, Mike, when we started with the initial workshops, we have some provision with the activity type in maintenance order,
Mhm.
or a preventive maintenance order. So, but the business asked to create a different order type to capture the cost at any point of time to see the maintenance status with a different order type. So
Okay.
due to that requirement, we created a different order type for safety and environmental as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike,
Mm,
we
Yep,
actually
go
have,
ahead, Bob.
we have that in email. We use safety work, safety.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we had the same thing when I had eMate before.
Guarding or something safety related, and it kind
Yep.
of.
And so you guys are basically using that as if it's like a safety issue that you
Right.
guys are fixing, is when you'll associate it with your safety maintenance, basically.
Yes, if it's
And then
machine or some kind of lifting, or something, fall prevention or something like that, call it safety. It's
gotcha.
really corrective, but it's something that we send to the safety manager so that he can see it.
Sure, that makes sense. And then environmental would be if you have, like, I don't know, anything with an exhaust rating or something.
Oh yeah, and then we've had a few spills and things like that. So
Gotcha. Okay. So that way, when you guys do if you're going to run an end of month report, you can break out the safety work orders to the environmental work orders to normal and all that kind of stuff, right?
right, the environmental are very rarely used. I mean, really, it's I don't know if it's really important to have that one in there, but we have it.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, and I'm honestly, Ajay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything by leaving it in there. Just because it's, I guess if anything does come up or we get any kind of new equipment that has environmental regulations, I guess it'd be nice to have in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we already have configuration set up in system for all these plans, while planning the maintenance activities, we can assign with this order type.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
So I just want to make a note of the safety work orders where we have fire extinguishers and any other examples. So when we go to the next follow-up session, I would like to create some test data and I wanted to show you the, how we can, because majorly in case of fire extinguishers, we won't create an order for one equipment.
Okay.
Or we cannot plan for one equipment. We can plan for multiple equipment at a time, and it would generate safety maintenance orders for that equipment. So apart from the fire extinguishers, if you can help me with any other data or any other kind of equipment which is
Yeah.
currently used in glass or metal.
I mean, Bob, you guys use the a vibration sensor, right? You got to calibrate those sensors.
Sensors, calibration, the sensors might come under calibration order, Mike, not in the safety.
Oh, you're looking under the ICM orders?
No, I'm looking for the safety maintenance order only.
Oh, you're only looking at safety. Okay,
Yes,
so
we'll go one by one because standard is something which we can discuss.
Sure.
But what we have with the safety and environmental and calibration.
Sorry, I was just looking across from what line it was on and thinking we were doing it. Okay, I got you. So another safety one would be like an oil leak on a compressor, right? Or on whatever kind of pump. And it'd be a safety issue because you're having spilt oil on the ground and that needs to be cleaned up. Something along those lines. Is that what you're referring to, or is it?
No, that will fall under again a corrective maintenance process because that is something which we need to take an action immediately. Safety is something which we can plan, and in the future it would generate on a weekly basis or a monthly basis.
So
oil leakage is something which we saw,
gotcha.
and it should be fixed immediately.
So basically,
That can
safety.
fall under corrective maintenance process. Yeah.
So it'd be like safety PMs.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so
fire extinguishers.
like a harness inspection,
Yes, it could be.
right? Like a fall protection harness inspection.
Yes.
Yeah. Bob, what else do you guys have as safety and maintenance? And you are muted if you can't. That's okay.
Sorry about
Oh, you're good.
that. I'm trying to find it right now, but my computer.
No worries. So, what kind of safety maintenance do you guys perform currently?
So, like repair guarding or
Well, so this is more for like your planned maintenance, your PMs that you guys would have, but they're safety related.
right. So
if not immediately, you can provide me before our follow-up session, Mike, which we can connect on the weekends.
Okay.
So what I was planning is once we have all these sessions with the business team, sometime on Monday or Friday, we both can connect and we can have some consolidated session.
Yep.
And what would the action items to be done, and what could be the, again, if you're planning for any kind of demonstration to the business team with some sample data, so we can discuss and you can help me with that data.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that is about safety. Let me highlight this in a different color at this point of time. And environmentally, something which will fall under kind of hazardous materials or hazardous equipments, which we would like to capture on a timely basis.
Mm-hmm.
So just now when we discussed, you said might not be, we don't have any major process at this point of time for metal, but we need to check about the glass.
Yep.
So because this is something I guess, Bob, if you would remember, Charles Langford has discussed in detail about these two process from e-maintenance. Since now Charles Langford is retired, and we can explore more when we discuss with the glass team.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'll reach out about their environmental maintenance,
Yeah.
see if they have much.
Sure.
And we don't
And
Yeah, you guys don't do much of that, do you, Bob?
know. Actually,
Yeah.
our safety executive shut down work.
I missed to add one thing here.
Gotcha.
So this is something which we can discuss later on. Yeah, thanks, Bob. So next comes with the calibration process. Like I said, calibration process is something which we check the caliber of an instrument of an equipment.
Mhm.
Based on my earlier discussions with the business, we don't have any much calibration process in glass and metal. Majorly, it is used in CRL manufacturing units.
Yep.
But we can check in detail with Bob and some of the team members from Glass and understand more, like if they require the calibration process. Like for example, you just provided some information on checking the. Um,
You
it
talking
just
about the
gives an
vibration
example.
sensors?
Exactly, you're right.
Yep.
So that is something if they wanted to capture on a larger scale to, like, what is my technician efforts involved, or what is my material consumption against the calibration. So we can capture that information through calibration process, but we need to understand what is the scope of that.
Yep.
Whether
I
they're
gotcha.
using very on a large scale on a planned activity, we can do that.
Okay.
Calibration is
in that sequence too.
Sorry, Bob, we like it's very hard to hear you.
So what we use the calibration work for would be like when we contract to check thermocouples or when we do combustion checks.
Okay, thermocouple and
The two fractions of one is on the other one, okay?
Mike, did you understand what Bob
No,
was
I
trying to
didn't.
say?
I didn't hear what the other one was.
I heard about check the thermocouple and something he was trying to say.
Thermocouples, gas train,
What is gas train?
fuel air mixtures on furnaces,
Gotcha. Okay.
combustion check.
There you go. Combustion temp. I like that.
Combustion checks.
Yeah.
Is it combustion?
Combustion checks. Yeah.
Combustion checks.
3993.
I doubt if this will fall under calibration process. This might come under safety inspection.
Yeah.
It could be preventive maintenance.
Yeah.
Safety.
Yeah.
I don't really think you guys do much of the calibration. But I'll reach out to the glass folks and see if they do.
Yeah, most of our calibrations are contracted out, but I still make a work order and put the contractor.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, really, a calibration check could even be fire extinguishers. I mean, if you really want to look at it that way.
462.
Just making some notes here. Mike, this is not a file one. We can go through this again and we can revise through this again and we can update the actual data. Just for today's session, I'm just updating this information. So we need to check with the glass team. Who is the glass team? Like we have Bob and for metal.
So
For
I've
maintenance
got
process.
I've got a couple glass guys. I'll send you their info. It's just those are they work at the facilities that we're upgrading. And so
Okay.
we still haven't even
But,
gotten an answer if
uh,
we're going to upgrade them or if they're just going to do their upgrade when the rest of their facility does. So, but I've been keeping in contact with them, and they're answering lots and lots of my questions. So they're good resources, and I'll send you their info too.
Please, Michael. And better if we can schedule something with the, because since it's a main process of plant maintenance, about what kind of business process they have. Majorly, we already discussed, like, myself and Bob and Charles Langford, and after discussions only we came with some new order types configuration and standard solution with the best practices. But still better we can have a discussion with them, and like, at least if not in the initial discussion, in the follow-up session we can invite them and show them that this is what we have in the best practices, and additionally what we configured, and show them the solution. And if there are some inputs or some like, gaps, we can identify, and we can see what standard solution fits for that. In
Gotcha.
case if
Okay.
something gap is there, I'm not sure. Like, there would be a gap, but in case.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
So the next comes with the ICM process, which is called as inspection corrective maintenance process. Inspection corrective measurement. So basically, this is something in a planned preventive maintenance process on a timely basis. Or in case of meter reading or a performance-based maintenance process, if there is any task failed because of unavailability of stock or due to some technical issues. My understanding from Bob and Charles Langford is they're going to fail the task. Whenever they mark it as an indication of it failed, system in e-maintenance, the system will automatically generate a new order for that once they click on save. So the same, there's the same kind of expectation from SAP to generate a auto order, because in SAP we can create a follow-up order manually, not automatically to generate. So since we got the requirement, we done some kind of custom development for that. It's not a standard functionality, first of all. So
Okay.
we developed a custom development where I'm going to show in the next follow-up session how it will going to generate, and the failed tasks are added into the new order. It could be
Okay.
single or for multiple tasks. So in SAP also we configure the same kind of process where it will automatically generate a maintenance order with a order type called as ICM. So in order to at any point of time they can track the data with this order type.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And any questions,
So-
Bob? And yeah.
So I have a question about the ICM orders. Is there, so at least in our reporting, is there going to be any kind of association with those ICM work orders to the original failed PM?
Yes.
So
There is a
like,
provision where they can see what is the main order and what is the basically what happens, Jeff. Sorry, Mike. We have a standard reporting structure. We call it a display document flow. In that document flow, we will have the main order, parent order, and what is the ICM order created with respect to the main preventive maintenance order.
awesome. Perfect. Okay.
So the link is not like not disturbed. So
Yep.
they have the link.
Gotcha.
And while creating an ICM order, what we have done as a part of solution, we have the cause code and we have a confirmation text. So where the technician can update the information, where the same information can be transferred from main order to the new order.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Any questions, Bob? Okay. I hear he said okay. He said no questions.
Yep.
Right,
We're
Mike?
good. Yeah, that's what I heard. We're good.
Yeah, I have a new computer. So it's not saying quite squared
Okay.
away.
And Mike, tell me one thing. How far from here, from Dallas office to Terrell plant?
The Terrell?
Yeah.
Bob, what do you think? About an hour?
It depends on traffic, 45 minutes, yeah, an hour.
Okay. So we'll plan sometime on the second week of July to have some meetings in the workshop in the Terrell plant, if possible.
Yeah,
I'll
I
also
think
check with Juan and Gerardo.
the week of the 11th, right? That's when everyone's
Yes.
supposed to be going out there. And so I was planning on coming out for like Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be there.
Okay, then I also plan for some Tuesday and Wednesday
Yep.
the workshop in the plant. Terrell
Perfect.
plant.
That'll be good.
Sounds good.
So the next process, what I discussed with the business team during the workshop is dye maintenance. So
Mhm.
this is something we need to deep dive and we need to work on the solution part based on the current
Yep.
business process. So that is
Yep.
something we can have a different. I guess we also plan for a different workshop for dye maintenance process. So
Yep.
I'm not going to discuss much in detail about this.
Yep. And then we got the FTP guys on that one as well. So
Yes, it's a
so
main
that'll be-
integration with the FTP, finance, I mean, it's a costing and
Yep.
plant maintenance team. I guess our role is very, very less because we need to capture only the measurement reading and generate a maintenance order.
Yeah.
And the technician is going to physically check whether this is something which can be retired or refurbished for the maintenance
Yeah.
production process. Yes.
That's why I kept finance out of it, just because for our purposes, I think it's just strictly data that we're going to be
Yes.
looking at. Yeah.
Yes.
So I just kept FTP in and didn't worry about the finance folks.
Agree with you. Agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what standard process wise what we configured. Since we don't have any refurbishment process at this point of time, I didn't add the order type for refurbishment in complete CRL glass and metal.
Mhm.
But if we required, we might require to configure that order type and we can design we can work on the solution for that.
Okay. Sounds good.
So so this is what I planned for today's session. If you have any questions or if you want to discuss anything, yeah, I'm open for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, the order types are about what we would need, what we would want. There's nothing missing that I'm seeing, unless Bobby, do you agree or disagree?
No, I think it looks good. We
Yeah.
can work with that.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty spot on for what you guys have in eMaint as well. And then in the next session, he's going to give us examples of all the order types and everything in actual work orders itself. So that'll give us some more visual confirmation that the list is right and everything.
So next session, Mike, what I'm planning is, it's a good point, what you just reminded me. So while Charles Langford was there in Glass, he did share me some test data. Even Bob did share me some test data. I mean to say that they extracted some task list from e-maintenance system and provided me the data for our
Mhm.
testing purpose. So when we go for the next follow-up session, meanwhile, I'll work on the getting the data from the emails, and I will set up some data while preparing the data for the next workshop. I'll connect with you. We can go through the data, and we can utilize the data for uh, uh, demonstration of the process, so that
Gotcha.
they would be more familiar with the same data in SAP system, and they can see what is possible and what is because mainly when we create a task list in SAP system, there is some gap between the field and characters.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that is something we can discuss in detail, and we can see, because in SAP we have some optional to extend the data to a long text field. The same long text field can be displayed in the maintenance order printout. So
Gotcha.
all these things we can do in the next follow-up session.
Sounds good to me.
And if we get some input from the Glass team, that would be more helpful. In
Yep.
case of process wise with sample data, what kind of equipment they use for the safety and for environmental maintenance process and for calibration process. If anything comes in the calibration process with glass and metal, we can
Yep.
discuss.
Yeah,
And,
I'll send this recording out to all the glass folks that I've been speaking with, and then see if they can give me any kind of information or data back.
Okay, and
So-
secondly, there is a business head called John Young, John Hoong or John Young.
Yep, John
Uh,
Hoog, yeah.
Yes, better we need to connect with him once, as not as a part of workshop, at least to discuss on the solution part with the SAP.
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah. Is it possible next week? We can, not next week, I guess, when we are in Terrell plant.
Yep.
We can connect with him once and we can discuss about the business requirement or
Yep.
business solution, what we do.
Yep, I'll get something set up with him.
Sure. And anything we need to connect with Kathy?
Vanderhayden?
Yes.
So I have connected with her before. I
Mhm.
spoke with her about a week or two ago, and so I can get with her as well. We'll get something set up with her just to make sure that we're covering all of our bases.
Sure.
Yep.
Or before, not before, I can say the month end of July, before we complete all the sessions,
Yes.
or wrap up session, we can connect with her and we can show her this is what we discussed since beginning of the workshops for all the plans, and this is a solution what we are going through. And if she has any suggestions or comments, we can take from her and John and Bill and even Chris.
Okay. And then
I might say what my intention is tomorrow's day, once we complete the workshops and if they feel something is missing or something can be done in the other way around. So these
Yep.
kind of things will come generally in a SAP implementation project. So before we go to the wrap up session itself, we can connect with them and we can take some suggestions and we are clear on all the aspects.
Yep.
for the AM
And
module.
then another name that we need to connect with, his name is Alan James. He just came to OBE a couple months ago. And
Okay.
he is I think he's the director of asset management, maybe, or something along those lines. And so
Okay.
he'd be another good one that I'll set something up with him and all of us, and we just make sure we cover all of our bases.
Sure. Sounds
Cool.
good. Yeah.
Sounds good, Ajay. Well, I got no more questions. Looks like Bob's already hopped off.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll send this out to everybody and then get some feedback, and then I'll make sure that keep you guys in the loop, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Since we already have a session tomorrow in the afternoon for PLC integration 1,
Yep.
let us try to connect on Monday for our action items for this week, current week, and
So-
what we can do for the next week. So we
So
can do
Monday
some
is the-
planning.
Monday is the 4th.
Oh, it's a holiday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys are doing the implementation, right?
And
USH?
just a minute, please. Yeah, I'm just wanting
So-
to check my calendar.
You're good.
Uh,
So Tuesday we have our weekly meeting set up already, and so we can just do that.
So this was the current week.